Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role-players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt Boothman, and I'm your compere for this main house production. Here on Merely Role-Players, we improvise stories for your entertainment and ours. And we use role-playing games to keep the story going places even we can't see coming, because as theatrical people, we're all about maximising the drama. This episode is part of our current main house production, Vigil, Cold Snap. In this production, we're playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat. So please take your seats in the main house. Tonight's production is about to begin. Vigil, a Merely Role-Players main house production. Cold Snap, Act 5 of 6.
I'm Strat, and I play Brier, the Monstrous. Brier is a shape-shifting Fey Guardian of the Rosebrier forest. They take their jobs very seriously, but can get a little distracted if there's mischief to be made.
I'm Josh, and I play Jinny Greenteeth, the Spell Slinger. In the Dark Ages, soothsayer Jinny was chased from her village under suspicion of witchcraft. Now, many centuries later, she is the proud owner of a local tourist attraction and gift shop in Sherrydown.
Hi, I'm Chris Starkey, and I play Cameron Jarvis, the Wronged. Cam's parents and sister were killed by ghouls when he was just 10 years old, while on a camping trip near Sherrydown. Ever since then, a Doom agent has been secretly training Cam to hunt and kill monsters.
I'm Nat, and I play Gwynned, the Divine. Gwyn was once a shieldmaiden of the triple goddess, the Morrigan. After interfering with one of her schemes by rescuing a mortal man, the Morrigan banished Gwyn to live life as a duck in what became Sherrydown's duck pond. Now released from her curse thousands of years later, Gwyn is trying to forge a new life as part of the local National Trust team, but is finding it difficult to stay under the radar.
Brier, you remember, from the very moment you were born, you were fighting. You fought the Winter King. Every single strand of its fur is frozen solid with permafrost. Its antlers are made of solid, transparent ice. It has the form of an ancient Irish elk.
If he wins this area, I don't know how much more is going to go back to deathly ice and snow.
I was thinking that perhaps it might be time to go beyond these petty magics that we throw around and bring something slightly larger.
You need some rare or weird components that Jinny has. Gwyneth, do you land directly in the storeroom or in the general area?
Just break through the roof. No. I think she lands in the circle. Oh no, that was like 200 metres away, wasn't it? No, she lands a bit closer to that than that.
There was a back door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Has Jinny left it locked?
No, I trust everybody. It won't be locked. But there is a wind chime above that door as well.
So Gwyn, everything around the gift shop and the Grove of Oddities is sort of alive with life and activity. A lot of the fleeing woodland creatures seem to have wound up in this general area because something about it feels safe to them. So there's a lot of bunnies and birds and all sorts capering about in this area.
I think if there's like a passing like a deer that's kind of, she's not going to bend down, but if there's something that's kind of at hand height, she'll give it a kind of soothing ruffle on the head. I'm going to head into the shop. Gwynned has been there before, but she's not necessarily she doesn't work there, so she doesn't know exactly where everything should be, but she's definitely been there before, so she knows where the storeroom is.
It's all pretty badly labelled and poorly organised, and sort of alchemical bottles filled with goop and other strange liquids all on their sides, and stacks and stacks of old books and tomes, and lots of little plastic jars, some of them filled with live insects, some of them filled with strange moss and dirt and mushrooms and flowers and stuff. It's a total mess in there.
As she goes to the front part of the shop, she's going to grab a messenger bag that's probably like a hempy woven tie-dyed kind of, looks like it's supposed to be earthy and cool, but it's probably just on the trashy side.
Hand stitched, locally sourced, organic product made in China.
Absolutely.
Hello, love. Cameron, how do you make this bloody thing work? Which button do I press?
That one.
This one?
Yes.
Oh, she can already hear. Hello, Gwynedd, over you there?
I can hear you, Jinny. Over.
Over. Yes. Hello? Gwynedd, are you there?
I can hear you, Jinny. Over.
Hello, Cameron. I can't get this bloody thing to work. I don't. Oh, I can hear it now. Hello,
for God's sake. I snatched it out of her hand.
Cameron, tell her she needs to find 2 bags of dried pondweed.
2 bags of dry pondweed. Over.
And that'll be very close. She just needs just a handful of honeysuckle.
A handful of honeysuckle. Over.
A pinch of saltpeter.
A pinch of saltpeter. Over.
3 jars, not 3 bottles, 3 jars of ghoul's blood.
3 jars of ghoul's blood. Not bottles. Not bottles. Jars of ghoul's blood. Over.
She's going to want just a little baggie of puffball, the mushrooms.
A baggie of mushrooms. Over.
That's for me later on. One single vial of werewolf saliva.
1 single vial, not a double vial, a single vial of werewolf saliva. Over.
2 generous portions of mandrake root.
2 generous portions of mandrake root. Over.
And a jar of alchemist powder.
And 1 jar of alchemist's powder.
Now, this is very important, Cameron. She's not to shake the bag or allow the ingredients to combine, because otherwise there will be, and I repeat, a rather large explosion.
Right. Don't shake the bag. Don't mix the ingredients. Or we're going to have 1 less holy warrior around. All right?
Cameron, could you also ask her to bring back one of those wind chimes? It's vitally important for my ceremony giving you all power.
Yep. You know the wind chime above the door?
Yeah.
Brier needs that, please.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
About my teleporting.
Sure.
I am pretty sure that they'll be alright teleporting back with me, but just how fragile are all these ingredients together?
You know the super thick scarves that we've got in the, not the semi-thick, the super thick from Taiwan in the gift shop?
Right, the one that looks like they should be knitted for giants.
That's the one. That's the one. If you sort of do like a wrapping effect around each of the ingredients before teleporting, that should be fine. Would that be okay, Jinny, if she does that?
I'm sure that should be fine, love.
That should be fine, love. That should be fine. Over.
I think I'm going to need a bigger bag.
We've got some very nice tote bags that I had delivered from a very nice man from way out east. They're pretty good quality. We've got some backpacks with Sherrydown.
I'm not pressing the button, Jinny. I'm not pressing it anymore.
Why? I didn't ask you to press the button. I just asked you to tell Aunt Winnie.
I'm not doing that. We've got other shit going on.
We really do. Could you just quickly tell her that anything she takes, if she could just make a quick note of it, because we've got the inventory coming up soon.
That's a really good point. Don, anything you do take though, please make a note of it. Please. There's some post-its on the desk by the till, if you don't mind. And remember that wind chime that hangs just below the door frame. That's really important. Just take that over. She's definitely like already halfway through like wrapping stuff and shoving it in, and just like
Yeah, sure, whatever.
No. Seriously, make a note.
Puts it down.
If you haven't made a note,
No, don't do this to me. Please. Over.
Brier is beginning to create various garlands for their 3 champions. So they're going to make a sort of kind of garland necklace out of vines and such for Jinny. One of those kind of high arm, like braces for Gwyn that is kind of like stony and mossy, and a head garland for Cameron that is going to be mostly made of like the most delicate flowers Brier can find, and all kind of really intricately woven together to prepare for their part of this power sharing ritual.
I would like to set up where we will conduct our ritual, trying to find as clean a space as possible with the fewest termites in it. Sort of clean. I'll sort of sweep the floor as much as I can do, because we need a nice, clean, level space to work on. I grab some little miniature candles, scatter them around the room. If there's any incense or any, herbs or sweet smelling flowers, decorate the place with those. Light all the candles, get some incense on the go. If we could find like a cauldron, I could really ham up the witch stereotypes and be bubbling a cauldron.
Except the cauldron is made of the bottom of an acorn, because you're all small.
Yes, that's adorable.
I walk back into the room, and the person who had blue hair now has like a very long, sort of thin nose that's somehow been moulded. Not quite sure how that's happened.
You see a potter's wheel in one corner of the room that one of the Fae is just sort of dusting off.
I look at somebody who's had like their hair shaved but then stuck over their face to make them look like a little werewolf face. And I sort of just glare at these little Fae and just go, look, you've had your fun now. Cut it out. Gordon Bennett. Fucking fairies. And I say to the people, the humans, right, who out of all of you lot don't want to hang around with these anymore?
4 hands go up.
Right, I only 2 of you. I look to the fairies and say, right, fairies, which ones have you had the most fun with?
They go into a little huddle. There's like a satyr and one that looks like it's made of moss, a couple of others. And they turn, and one sort of designated as a spokesman points at Adrienne and says,
"That one complained a lot."
Right, I'll take her then.
And another one points at one of the others. Shall we name one of the other National Trust people?
Let's say her name is Judith.
Okay. Maybe Judith is the one with the blue hair and the long nose.
Sure, that sounds good.
So one of the other Fae points at Judith and just points at their own nose and snickers.
I think Judith has had enough fun, and we'll take Adrienne. You're coming with me. These guys don't like you very much, and Judith will. You won't remember this. Don't worry about it. And I just sort of drag them out of the room.
Why do people keep saying that?
It's a bad dream. It's all a bad dream. As I pull the 2 women out of the room, I just sit my head back in and just look at the fairies and say, just tone it down a little bit, please. Come on. And I just give them a little glare. Right, you guys are going to come with me and you're going to drink a magic potion.
What?
Yep, it's all part of the dream. Woo! And I sort of start skipping down the fucking corridor, going, ooh, follow me, dreams, dreams. Smashing mirrors as I go everywhere. And as I bring them in, I say, right, old woman and Tink, I've got 2 happy volunteers. And I push the women in.
Adrienne, Judith, you'll do nicely.
Gwynned, you finally managed to find and pack all of the ingredients The last thing on the list was just, hidden in a dark corner of the storeroom under 4 other things.
Yeah.
The place is in even more disarray now.
Oh, yeah, she's not been careful. She's just been like, is that it? No. Just like tossing it over.
Don't throw the ingredients around. I'm not going to have a shop to come back to.
Not with like the jars of stuff, but like if it's like a bundle of cinnamon or something that's not going to be, she'll just, that's not it. Throw it over the shoulder. Fudge. Keeping that. Put that in the bag.
Write it on the list.
Jinny is not here and can't do anything. I think as well she probably has switched the not earthy but looks earthy messenger bag out for, I think you said that there were like rucksacks there as well. I think she's got one of them instead.
Perfect.
But she's had to because of her wings, she's had to strap it on the front instead. Like tourists do.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Got to make sure those ghouls don't pick your pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, so she grabs the wind chimes on the way out, just shoves them in the top, has a piece of fudge, shoves the rest of the pack into the rucksack, jumps into the air and teleports back.
And when you return to the clearing, as you're transition from being a black feathery arrow torpedo to being a humanoid figure again, and come to potentially a slightly stumbly landing, given your leg is still injured, but you can still stick it. Standing on the edge of the clearing is the creature that Jinny described, the Winter King.
Oh boy.
Taller even than you imagined, but a little ways away. You're sort of by the tree. It's on the edge of the clearing.
Does it see me? Does it look at me, or is it just kind of dead ahead, just walking?
It takes a step and it raises its head and it looks straight at you.
Are you his herald?
She pauses a moment and stares at it, and then just dives into the tree.
Bravely ran Sir Robin.
How does Gwyn find everybody else?
Putting the final touches to some garlands. Excellent. Gwyn, do you have what I asked for?
Yep, everything's here. It's here. And she's unpacking and giving all the pieces out. So there's
lovely, thank you very much.
Clang of wind chimes. There's packets. There's jars. She passes Cameron the fudge, and then she goes, "Oh no, wait, that's for me." Takes it back. And passes him the mandrake root instead.
Did you shoplift?
What?
Did you take that fudge? That wasn't on the list. Was that on the list?
Finder's fee.
It's definitely not how it's supposed to work, love. But we'll give it to you as a nice token of appreciation. Can I just have all of the ingredients now? I'm just boiling this stock, ready for the main ingredients.
I would like to just underline the fact that I did mention it's here as well. It's right outside. So let's crack on, yeah?
Oh, the winter king. Okay, yes, fair enough. Well, in that case, this is a bracer for you. Wear it and be my champion. There's probably some other fancy words I can say, but we really don't have time. There you go.
Thanks.
Ginny, this is a necklace for you. Wear it and be my champion.
Oh, thank you, my love.
And then Cameron and Brier just turns around. You hear some sort of making stuff, and turns around, and now the circlet has a stick that points right up and forwards at a right angle, and the wind chime is just dangling above it. And this is a super special one for you. Wear it and be my champion.
No.
Wear it and be my champion.
No, take that. Take it off.
Cameron, he put a lot of effort into that, my love.
It's an important part of the spell, Cameron.
We might all die
important.
otherwise.
Just.
You've got to wear it.
I just take it off. Take that off now.
You're not going to be able to hurt the thing if you don't wear it.
No, I'll wear the city flowers. I'm not going to wear the wind chime.
But it must.
No one else has got a wind chime. Why have I got a wind chime and no one else has got a wind chime?
Well, because it marks you as a coming storm, and the wind ruffles through your wind chime, and it looks pretty and sounds nice.
It doesn't. No one likes the sound of wind chimes. No one actually likes the sound of them.
Cameron, you're being so stubborn. The entire world is about to be plunged into a never-ending winter, and you won't wear one of my lovely wind chimes.
You know I hate the wind chimes.
Could you just wear it for a little bit and wiggle your head?
And then you'll take it off?
Yes.
I put it on.
Oh, lovely.
I wiggle my head.
Isn't that a delightful sound?
And I pull the wind chimes off and smash them under my foot.
Yeah.
And I put the flowers back on my head.
I'm going to turn to Jinny. I'm not paying for them.
No, that's all right. I'll take it out of Cameron's wages.
Mother...
Okay, I'd like to take the ingredients that Gwyn has handed, and one by one they are offered into the broth and constantly, consistently stirred.
Is there a smell? Is there a miasma?
There is. It's a very strong alchemical smell that's simultaneously old and new, acrid, putrid, and delicious all at the same time. And it gives off all sorts of exploding colours, and smoke belches forth from the cauldron as I use a large ladle, which I guess is just a twig, to stir the cauldron. And my hair is sort of blown back as if there was a fan on me while I'm doing this, and I get this sort of crazy look in my eye, and I do let out accidentally a little sorry, love. I continue to stir.
Why don't you roll a use magic? Let's kick this big magic off.
Oh, God.
Yeah!
Here we go.
Go big or go home, you get extras to this.
I do, I get a +1. Here we go. I rolled 8, +2 for weird, +1 for go big or go home, so that is 11.
What does this look like? The magic goes off without a hitch.
So there's just an explosion from within the cauldron, like a geyser going off, just erupting, bellowing from the cauldron. Steam and froth fires upwards and hits the ceiling and splats across the room. More smoke is billowing out as the concoction finally begins to simmer and to settle.
All right, lovies. It's me, Matt, your compere, mingling in the interval as usual. If you take a moment to flick through your programme, you'll spot a shout out to Ben Newbon, who correctly identified Ellie's cameo back in Act 4. If you go back and play through that episode again, you'll notice her performance subtly layered into the sinister voices coming from Brier's collection of mirrors. Shout out to Nat for having the idea and doing the layering, to Ellie for stepping in with the additional audio, and once again to Ben Newbon, at Ben Newbon on Twitter, for spotting the cameo. If you've been meaning to leave us a review, but just haven't got round to it yet, I've got good news. Right now, Podchaser, the IMDb of podcasts, is donating 25 US cents to Meals on Wheels America for every review anyone leaves on their site. So it's not that you were putting off leaving us a review, it was just that you were waiting until leaving us a review would also help support a good cause, right? You have until the end of April to take advantage of this, so follow the link in the programme notes for this episode and leave us a review there. Also in the programme notes, you'll find a link to sign up for my free monthly newsletter. The next issue has a preview of what's coming up in the studio after we finish Cold Snap, plus an update on the talent tournament role-playing game I'm designing based on the rules we used for Upstaged back in the Blackshore saga. That issue goes out first thing this Friday, so follow the link and sign up before then if you want the inside scoop. Alright, last thing before I go call beginners for this next scene, I want to draw your attention to the centre pages of the programme, where you'll find a glossy ad for the DM's Book Club, a weekly podcast discussing different Dungeons & Dragons books and how to use them in your games. Then, once you've taken that in, please return to your seats in the main house for Vigil, Cold Snap, Act 5 of 6.
Do you like a good book? Do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Fancy combining them? Us too. Come join me, Fiona, and my good friend Ryan for the DM's Book Club, a weekly podcast where we read about some Dungeons and Dragons and discuss how we might include it in our role-playing campaigns. We're on Twitter at The DM's Book Club, and we've got an email too, thedmsbookclub@gmail.com. The DM's Book Club, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
The brew is not yet complete. Gwyn needs to do her contribution and bring the holiness.
So I'm channeling through a person, right?
Yeah.
One of the three.
Yep, so either Cam, Adrienne, or Judith.
Well, it makes sense to channel it through Cam, I think, to me. So, I suppose she kind of awkwardly is like, right then. And kind of wafts towards the cauldron. Assume the position then.
What?
Like, go and stand by it.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah. Is this going to hurt?
It shouldn't. I don't think I've ever tried to do this on a person before.
You're filling me with great confidence here.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
All right, Ducky.
That is a 9.
Okay. The effect is of short duration. You're going to be on a tight time limit to defeat the Winter King before his cold overtakes all your hearts. Is how that is going to work.
No.
Okay.
So what does it actually look like as you push holy energy into Cam and he pushes it through into the potion?
He is holding on to the edge of the cauldron, and I think similar to dealing with the inspector at the start, she places her hand kind of gently at the back of his neck, and for those looking closely, there is a kind of a sparkle and a glow, but mostly it's just the warmth. The warmth just passes through the back of his neck, through to his heart, and his chest feels warm and expansive, and then the tingle kind of runs down his hands, and his hands pass it onto the cauldron.
For the first time in 15 years, for a brief second, Cameron feels at peace.
Yay.
Oh,
that's nice.
And what change comes over the potion?
Ooh, I think the kind of the crackles and the mini kind of bubbles and explosions that have been happening, they settle on the surface, but it starts swirling below the surface of the liquid and kind of focused, and it does kind of, if all the lights were off, it would start to be glowing, but it's not necessarily super perceptible if we're in a well-lit room. Like a glow-in-the-dark thing that's not been exposed to much light yet.
The potion's softly glowing and now complete. The last roll for this big magic is going to be Brier. Use magic to, I guess, see how effectively you've constructed these champion garlands.
Yep. Here we go. So this is a weird roll, isn't it?
Yeah, it's use magic plus weird.
Okay, that's rolled an 11, so that's a 14.
Whoa.
Nice.
So I will waddle over to Jinny and place a little hand on her chest, and kind of this little green glow comes open, and what I want to happen is the roots and everything to kind of go into them. Like, it doesn't hurt, you can't feel it, but they kind of root themselves into the person. Then I shall waddle over to Gwyn, and I shall hold her firmly by her upper arm, and the same thing, the bracer kind of like slowly constricts around her arm and again it attaches itself to him, and then I'll just waddle up to Cam and just go boop on his nose, and the roots will come all the way down and wrap around his chin like a little bonnet. And I shall just look at him and give a big smile. Wear this and be my champion!
I'm guessing it's a good thing there are no mirrors left in this fucking place.
You look beautiful, and will strike fear into the heart of anything who causes death! And he'll just turn around and waddle away, very pleased with himself.
Gwynned is also under her breath, like snorting with laughter.
I think you look very handsome, Cameron.
Oh, fuck. How bad do I actually look?
Pretty bad.
Shall we go and save the forest and possibly, I don't know, this bit of the world?
I think as you say that, I think for Gwynned, it's not one of those things that you see, but I think you just suddenly notice that rather than wearing her kind of hempen, linen-y, black kind of clothes, she is suddenly in armour.
With kind of like twirling, curling leaf patterns all over it.
Yeah.
Carven in, tooled in.
Yeah.
I put my motorcycle helmet back on, so I feel self-conscious.
All that remains is to drink the potion.
I'd like to propose a toast. And I hold up the little acorn cup. And I say my little motto, too weak, too slow, too scared, never again.
Here.
Here.
Yakida.
It tastes disgusting. Even worse than it looks. It's hard to keep it down.
But very, very warming going down, though.
The trick is just tip it back. Don't let it touch your tongue. That's the trick with this particular potion. Otherwise you'll gag.
So like good medicine where it, on the tongue it's horrible, but you can feel it going down your throat and into your chest.
It's like an explosion as it hits every inch of your gullet, like a really, really fine whiskey. You know, it warms but also pulses as it runs down.
And you feel connected to each other. You're all sharing something. There is a power that is kind of infused between all of you.
This is for something much bigger than all of us. This is for the forest. This is for Sherrydown.
For the forest.
Shall we go deer hunting?
Ha! Oh, I've always liked you lot.
You emerge from the tree into the frozen clearing. The frost has reached around the edges of the clearing, so behind you, around half the clearing, there is still spring, and ahead of you, where the Winter King stands, there is only frost and death.
Right.
Do we see anything other than the Winter King? Are there any other creatures around?
Roll sharp to read a bad situation.
Okay. I am particularly looking out to see whether there are a pack of ghouls on the outskirts of the... I know they can't come into the clearing, but whether they're on the outskirts.
Yep.
So I can add +1 to that because I'm looking for ghouls.
Yeah.
This is sharp +1. Oh, well, that was shit. That's a 4, 5 total. I'm going to take luck to see if there's any ghouls around.
Cool. When you spend luck, you will find a dangerous lead on your prey. So that won't necessarily happen right this second, but it will happen before the end of the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And for read a bad situation on a 10+, so you've now technically rolled a 12 because you spent luck, you hold 3.
Okay. Any dangers we haven't noticed?
There are ghouls in the trees.
I say ghouls in the trees, folks. Ghouls in the trees.
There look to be about 5 of them sitting in the branches of some of the frozen trees. 1 or 2 of them have kind of scorched sleeves where they've tried to break through the protection and haven't been able to.
I relay that information to the others.
Yeah, once Cam's pointed them out, you can see them.
What is most vulnerable to me?
I mean, the ghouls are the most vulnerable because they are sort of pinned in place almost. They're penned and you can hurt them properly now with that axe. Absolutely. They're definitely more vulnerable than the Winter King himself.
And what's the best way to protect the victims?
So if we're taking the victims as kind of the people of the forest and all of that kind of stuff.
Kill the Winter King.
I mean, yeah, push the Winter King back into the forest. This place seems to have some significance. There's a reason that he came here to have this fight.
Okay.
And, you know, he sort of came to this clearing and stopped, which gives you the information that this was his destination. Sure. So potentially any kind of victory he might win would have less effect if it wasn't in this place, if it was somewhere else in the forest.
Ghouls in the forest, but they can't get in. They're a bit scorched, actually, from trying to get in. But I can go and take those out if you want. But if we can push the big old horn dog over there into the forest a bit more, then maybe we can spoil his day a little bit.
That sounds like something I'd be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Need to summon that storm.
So Gwynned is obviously going to grab her tree staff.
Brier is going to, still in true form, kind of waddle forward a bit and kind of give a little bit of a wave to the Winter King. Let's go, long time no see, and then just start doing stretches. Sort of like as you would do when you're getting ready for kind of PE and things like that.
I'll take the ghouls. You take the deer.
The Winter King puts one forehoof forward and bends his front knees and sort of inclines his head downwards.
Greetings, little guardian. I believe I was not announced. My heralds were killed before they could do the pleasantries.
Well, I mean, you know, just hire better next time, I guess.
They woke me. I had to work with what I had.
They woke you? Okay. Well, still stretching. I guess same as last time, is it? A bit of a fight. I win, you go away, life wins, all that sort of stuff.
To the death, yes, guardian. And I will win. I have woken after 10,000 years. And this, therefore, is my age.
It's been that long. Gosh. Okay, that's probably why this is taking a little while. Hang on, just one little bit. I just need to stretch this out. It's been a while since I've done this. All right. And he's just going to turn and look at Cameron and go, I think you'll like this bit. And Brier's going to punch the floor and is going to take Guardian form. Now, usually when Brier transforms, it's like instantaneous. But this one is as though the whole of the forest roots and rock and everything is going to kind of essentially come in and envelop him. And essentially be a big ball of roots and vines and all that sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden is going to essentially explode into the form of like a giant manifestation avatar of the forest. This creature's arms are going to come up out of the ground, and in one giant rooty fist will be holding the huge sword, as it is described, made of just one solid bit of flint that is carved into the shape of a sword, and going to let out a roar, the same sort of way that like in Jurassic Park you get that big guttural roar of a dinosaur. And it's going to sort of like big roar, and it's going to kind of go into a bit of a cough again. Sorry, haven't done that one for a while. And this big thing is going to have the exact same voice as tiny little Brier. Everybody ready?
You're right.
For the forest.
On your word.
On guard!
Seeing you transform, the Winter King straightens up, lifts its head, pointing straight up into the sky, and frigid mist begins to swirl around its snout as you see its throat and chest working and building to take an enormous breath.
I run towards the ghouls.
I throw up a wall of wind. The clouds above us begin to form into dark shapes as you feel the wind begin to pick up, standing at the centre of this maelstrom that I'll try and bring forward. And as I did before, I just throw my hands out, and a huge wall of wind, of debris, of shrapnel, of branches and leaves and whatnot is going to fire up directly in front of the snout of the Winter King in a sort of face guard muzzle kind of way to stop it from breathing on us.
Roll plus weird.
It's time to kick some ass! Jinny! Hiya! Woohoo! 12.
Yeah.
There's some ass kicking.
So again, I want it to sort of dissect across the front of the face, so it sort of slaps the Winter King as it comes into force.
When you roll plus 10 plus on kick some ass, you can either give yourself or another hunter the advantage going forward. You can inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, or force them where you want them.
I'm going to give Brier +1 forward.
Nice. As the wall goes up, the Winter King projects its head straight forward, looking straight at you now, Jinny, and it bugles. The sound rings out across the whole forest, and that frigid air that had been building up around its muzzle fires forward in almost a physical beam of cold, projecting straight from the Winter King at you. Mm-hmm. This does 4 harm, but your wall gives you 2 armor because it's going through the wall. So it's doing 2 harm.
Can I do anything to intervene in that? Can I just grab her and fly to the side? Fly out the way?
You can roll plus tough to protect someone.
Yeah. That's 6 on the dice, so 7, 8.
On a 7 plus, you protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get.
Fine.
So there was 2 harm coming. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to take all of that as you tackle Jinny out of the way. Put yourself in between her and the attack.
I only take 1 because I've got my holy armor.
Great. And you feel ice form on you from this frigid bugle that roots you to the frozen ground.
Oh no.
I would just say thank you so much, Gwynny. Love you, alright?
Gonna need some help getting back in the air. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna use magic on myself to try and free myself and heal. Plus weird, which is 1. Ooh, that is an 11 though, so it's a 12 total.
Nice. So it works without issue.
Gwynned has grabbed Jinny, moved her to the side, and it's the ice, as it has hit her, it has caught her wings, which had kind of frozen in place, which is why she couldn't move or jump up anymore. But I think she takes that hit and that pressure and kneels to the ground and holds on to her staff, and then just has a moment where everything's channeling, and then all of the ice just kind of shatters off the wings, and she rustles them and then jumps into the air.
Cam, you were running towards the ghouls.
Yeah, so are the ghouls sort of next to the deer thing, or are they
They're a bit
back?
spread out. So if the clearing is a circle, they're sort of spread out between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock.
And the deer is at where on the
12.
He's
an elk, thank you very much. An Irish elk.
Sorry. Having seen the massive beam of ice magic, Cameron's going to sort of think, the ghouls can wait.
Yeah.
And he's going to charge headlong. And maybe his presence attacking their boss might bring the ghouls towards him, is what he's sort of thinking now. So he's going to try and act like a bit of bait to sort of bring the ghouls closer by wailing on the big elky majig.
Okay. The wind wall, I'm assuming, sort of blows in one direction, so if you run through it towards the Winter King, maybe the wind would actually be at your back.
Nice.
I think it would be like a caress or a forceful, like a big hand in Cameron's back, propelling him forward.
Isn't that what we've got from your power anyway? Like a little advantage.
Yeah. Shall we define, because we didn't really define what that actually means. So one thing it could mean is you can all move really fast, like you move as if the wind is behind you.
Maybe move faster. Maybe there's like an updraft, so they could leap higher than expected.
Amazing. Yeah, I like that.
Because I'm seeing this battle just take place entirely within the storm, within the tempest. So if ever you run forward and want to leap, there could be an updraft underneath you that propels you through the air.
Sure.
Nice.
Well, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. From like 20 feet away from the elk, I just sort of launch, double-handed on the axe, and just say... Actually, no, I just start laughing. I'm just laughing maniacally as I launch through the air, as I go to strike the elk with my axe.
Roll plus tough.
That don't look good. Oh, that's okay. That's a 10 total.
Nice.
You exchange harm. It's going to hurt you. You're going to hurt it. But
Sure.
which of the extra effects would you like?
I'm going to inflict terrible harm,
Haha.
so it takes 5 damage.
Oh, so 5 damage from you as Cam is coming in with the axe, and as you descend from this wind-assisted leap, it swings its huge head, and the enormous razor-sharp icy antlers come slashing at you as you are falling. So you hit it for 5 harm, -1 as you feel that the axe blade momentarily is resisted by the centuries-old permafrost coating every single strand of its fur.
Of course.
And from being whacked with the antlers slashing across, you take 3 harm and are flung to one side of the tree.
Great.
So it's 3 harm minus whatever armor.
2. So I am 1 damage.
Great, so you take 1, and
Nice.
yes, you get no other effects because you are in your icy berserker rage.
Uh-huh. You think you're cold.
At this point, Brier will let out one of those mighty roars again and leap into the air. And as you do, you hear him yell, "Life finds a way!" I saw that one, Cameron!
Hey, that's Jurassic Park!
And will come down with the full force of their tree form and the huge sword, nicely magically imbued by Gwyn.
Roll plus tough.
Okie dokie. Oh, and I have +1 going forward because of Josh as well, don't I? So I get +3. Oh no, that's a 6.
Oh no.
Is anybody in a position to attempt to help out? Because that could push it up to a mixed success.
I could try, yeah. I think that the buffeting winds of the tempest are in your favour, and it's going to attempt to try and blow the creature towards you, so that you strike a much better hit. But we'll see what happens when I roll these.
All right, yeah, Jinny, roll plus cool.
Oh, that's a 5.
Ah, brilliant.
Ow.
So we have fails on the board from both Brier and Jinny. As Brier leaps, the Winter King lowers its head and charges. Flinging Brier out of the way with its razor-sharp, icy antlers, and barreling into Jinny with its trampling hooves.
Oh no, Jinny's so small.
Ooh, so frail, old lady.
Brier, you take 3 harm.
Bloody hell.
Jinny, you also take 3 harm and are knocked down.
Okay.
Brier, you're flung away to the edge of the clearing and temporarily kind of winded, or whatever that looks like for this form. Jinny, you are knocked to the ground, all the wind out of you, and you feel like, you might have a cracked rib as well from the hoof.
It's ironic, knocking the wind out of me.
Yes.
So I guess Brier has now got an unstable injury.
Are you over the line?
Well, yeah, because we didn't get rid of any of the harm earlier, right?
Yep, yeah, in which case you are unstable. If you leave that untreated, it will get worse.
Righty-ho.
You're probably bleeding sap, given that you're in a very woody form right now.
How?
Jinny, you hear the thunder of the hooves passing above you. Thankfully, only that first initial hoof to the chest actually hits you, and the rest of you see the Winter King skid to a halt on the frozen ground just past Jinny, turn around and come around for a second charge, lowering its head once again. This has been Vigil, a main house production from Merely Roleplayers. It stars Chris Starkey as Cameron Jarvis, Natalie Winter as Gwyned, Strat as Brier, and Josh Yard as Jinny Greenteeth. Sound design for this production is by Natalie Winter, and the theme music is by Alex Pankhurst. I'm Matt Boothman, and I play the supporting cast, as well as editing and producing this episode. We were playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat Productions. You can find Monster of the Week at genericgames.co.nz. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, play on. Oh, what do you still look like an earthworm?
No, Brier's back to their true form. So Robin isn't there at all.
So small pixie. Yeah, so she doesn't know that that's who promised her. Mm-hmm. You're just another weird fae that she's met.
Sure am. Would have been fun if I was a talking earthworm.
That's just my favourite image, just like an earthworm just kind of on a chaise longue, just being like, yeah.
In my day.
Yeah. I thought an earthworm would be particularly good at relaxing, at lounging.
Definitely.